Thanks for tuning in to Power Athlete Radio. This week we catch up with Bert Sorin at his private hunting club in South Carolina. If you're a fan of Power Athlete Radio or a critic, you know that sometimes our shit goes completely off the reservation. Well, just a little heads up, this is definitely one of those episodes. Get ready to drink in a solid 20-minute debate about movies made in 1985 versus 1994, and how old you'd have to feasibly be to have sex with Janis Joplin during her heyday. If you were at Sorenex Summer Strong last year, you have some idea of what it's all about, but hearing Bert talk a little about the origin of the event and the evolution of the company over the years really articulates why he's dedicated so much heart to the iron game. Although the conversation meanders from movies to fatherhood to training, it's all set to the subtle backdrop of crickets and frogs singing in the background. I couldn't imagine a more perfect setting for shooting the shit with friend of the show and remarkable leader, Bert Sorin. This is episode 192.
Power Athlete Nation, what is up? John and Tex here on the road in Lexington, South Carolina, home of Sorenex headquarters, and we are sitting down with Mr. Bert Sorin. We just ate some elk. We had a little hunting adventure in which John, we'll leave John to tell that story, how that went. And
well, we didn't see anything. We were out there. We didn't really see anything. I mean, we saw some moving blobs, but we can't confirm or deny because Bert missed the shot. So he did. He fires your weapon.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did. It was more of a bat and cleanup type thing, but
yeah. Well, let's just get it out of the way. We were sitting up in a tree stand. It was pretty much blackout. We saw some moving masses and five of them, and I had a very
moving
easy
masses that we couldn't see much more than 98% of the details of, but whatever.
I had a chip shot, and I still to this have no idea how I missed it, or there's no way. I heard that thing hit, and when I didn't hear the squeal, I was like, man, that's the quietest pig I've ever shot. And then when I walked out there and I didn't find it, Bert, thank God, tried to make me feel better by searching for an hour looking for blood trails, which we didn't see. And I wanted to be like, after like 2 minutes, I was like, dude, we don't see any blood trails. Stop looking. It's hurting my feelings, so you keep looking for it. But
well, I had to coddle your tender feelings. I mean, I understand.
There is no part of me that's tender, and I have, while I have ego and pride about myself, I am the first one to tell you when I fucked up, and more importantly, the fact that, god damn it, I don't know how I fucking missed that thing.
Well, you got to come back and redeem yourself, or add to the legend of the miss. Either way.
Well, isn't that the only miss from that rifle that you had?
Yeah, I mean, I've only had it like a decade. Shot. It's killed more than smallpox, but no, it's good. No, it's good.
That rifle has never missed.
No. Well, not by my hand.
Well, don't worry, I'm taking it with me. I'm going to take it back to Texas with me,
and
I will
totally redeem.
I was like, all of a sudden, like, just send a bunch of pictures of squirrels. You're like, you've been shooting squirrels with a 300 short mag? I'm like, yeah, I had to like redeem this thing.
It's like a halfway house for my rifle. It like gets it back on track.
Bloody mass. You don't even know what it is.
Like, what is that? Is that a human head? You're like, nah, it's a squirrel.
No, we're good. Yeah, so no, it was really super great adventure. It was great to see you show your shooting prowess and those ice cold veins that you showed us for years on the gridiron. And I see why you were the legend of Sean Wellbore now. It only makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
This only contributes to my legendary inability to kill a pig. I mean,
well, you can't be good at everything. I mean,
surprisingly, I'm usually pretty good, but I don't know. Maybe that. I mean, you were trying to tell me some BS about the scope and, this. And, I was like, dude, yeah, that was a chip shot. The crazy part is I literally saw that pig come across. I put those crosshairs dead on his armpit. And I was like, big breath in, pulled the trigger, and like, so much so, I put another one in and tried to get another pig.
And you let your veganism just come right out.
Well, it's because I don't have a beard.
You were like Johnny Utah in Point Break.
Oh. Yes.
You were aiming at Bodie and you just couldn't do it.
You
missed. Air quotes, missed.
Well done. Well done.
So I was but if I had killed something amazing, this podcast wouldn't nearly be as good because then we would just be skinning things. So Texan
would
accent.
record that.
That would have been epic.
Right. We would feel much more manly.
Yeah.
We would
Oh,
feel
man.
less
I know.
hungry, but
We'd
more
have bacon.
manly.
We'd have bacon.
Yeah, I mean, not tonight. Eventually. Yeah.
We have bourbon now, though.
Yeah, we got bourbon.
Can we say that on this?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Right on.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
whatever the fuck we want, right? But Bert, tell us about the lamp.
Okay.
So on the drive out, you were telling us a little about it. It's a pretty cool
Yeah,
experience.
so I'm a member of a hunt club here in Lexington. Well, it's right outside of Columbia, actually. We're about 3 miles from where the Gamecocks play, and it's right on the border of the Congaree National Forest, which is one of the biggest wetland national forests in the country. And so we're just north of that. So we get all kinds of awesome game, whether it be deer, turkey, wild hogs, alligators, whatever kind of good, deep south movie fair type animals that you might want to see come up. So it's cool. We got about 3,000 acres. We get to hunt it, and it's sweet because I could get here from the office in about 30 minutes and just check my emails in a different chair. Honestly,
view.
I hate to say that I hunt really hard. It's usually just answering questions and putting out fires, but
how often do
it's
you
nice
hunt?
to
Do you hunt every week?
no, like October, November I hunt. Okay, October, November I hunt probably 2 or 3 times a week, but the rest of the year it's probably only 5 times a week. I'm just kidding. I asked my wife. I probably get in the woods maybe 40 times a year.
Oh wow.
I would say I try to do it as much as possible. Thankfully, a place like this is close enough where
So
I
you're
can-
not moving to Newport Beach anytime soon?
Probably not. I smell a good bit of gunpowder a year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So I think my favorite time is the sun coming up and the sun going down, and I always think I've gotten the most out of the day when I've been outside and seen both of them happen that day.
Yeah.
So you've really got to do much, and worked a 10-hour work day in the middle of it. So that's something I really enjoy.
Awesome. So we were out here to teach CrossFit sports specific application.
CrossFit SSA.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
Seminar. So at Sorin's brand new facility and headquarters and showroom.
I can't believe
and
we
museum.
have 75 people here to indoctrinate into the SSA.
It's wild.
7 or 5 people. It's
Yeah.
an amazing number.
It was 5 or 7, 75, yeah.
57, either one.
Yeah.
Who's counting
But
really?
but you know what? The group might be small, but they seem plugged in.
But they're potent.
Yeah, they're kind of like a 300 short mag.
And the
Accuracy is key. Go ahead.
Everybody
The
knows that a
environment-
300 short mag is not nearly as accurate as, I don't know,
A slingshot.
a slingshot or a muzzle loader,
Some volleyball.
like a skeet shooter or something.
but the environment in which we get to teach the seminar is very unique. Talk about, as soon as you walk in the doors, kind of give, I guess, an audio visualization
Sure.
of your plan. Did it pan out?
Sure. Well, yes, it did. Something that we've always kind of had I wouldn't say a problem with, but Sorin were tied into the history of what we call the physical culture or the iron game. So there's been memorabilia, but also pieces that we've been a part of, whether it be at the Arnold Strongman Classic, the World's Strongest Man, parts and pieces that we've created for different entities, or just our own training that we've done for decades. So we're really tied into the history of strength and where that's come from and what's the mindset of it, not what's kitschy or the trend right now. So
What is the trend right now?
the trend right now, I think, I would say 10 years ago, it was everyone wanted to kind of be an athlete. And I think everyone now wants to be the smarter version of that and wants to think that they've heard all of the education and they could talk science with everyone. And everyone wants to look good naked.
Sure. Well,
That's the bottom line of it. And it's good because everyone, I would say everyone, I use that, hyperbole very loosely, but large muscle groups, squats, cleans, deadlifts, people, it's nice that 15 years later people actually are wanting to do those. You walk into a Globo gym, you do a deadlift, someone doesn't look at you strangely, and if you do a clean, at least people think you do CrossFit.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just wanting to do cleans, but at least there's some sort of title associated with it. But that being said, so there's always been a problem of how do you have a route in the past of strength and conditioning in the iron game, but also be a company that's built on innovation in the future. So what we try to literally do is geographically separate those two within our new facility. So when you walk into the history of strength and conditioning, which starts with some parts and pieces, some barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, cable machines. Some of them are almost 200 years old. And so you see that the idea of strength and the overload principle is literally as old as the legend of Milo of Crete.
Sure.
And it really goes back far to the idea of lift more weights, get stronger, get bigger, and be more successful in your daily actions, but also be more aesthetically pleasing. You look at the old pictures, or old statues of David, like we were talking about earlier, or Hercules, or whoever it may be, and that's been something among the ages that has been looked at. So there's that room. You walk into the history of physical culture. You take an immediate left, and you walk into what we consider the future of strength, or at least the state of the art of strength, which is our actual gym, showroom, and education center that you guys ran the conference in today, the seminar. So the idea of that is use the top rated tools, the most customized, the most cutting edge, and we use the term cutting edge. Everyone uses the term cutting edge, in my opinion, in somewhat of inaccurately. Because if you're truly cutting edge, you actually are the data. You're literally
I
the
thought
one.
you were going to go with kind of the steel working. So it was like a...
Well, good. Right on.
Oh, like literally the cutting edge.
Literally the cutting edge, as in a saw or a laser or whatever it may be. Well, we have those too. That's through the other room. But so part of the stuff that's in the new facility is just things we're working on and things we want to try. We're actually accumulating the data, having people like John come in and Tex and different athletes, different coaches to try things out, and let's all decide together, is this a good modality of training or is this complete BS? So it's kind of our lab. It's our way we let people know where the future of strength is going. And besides that, there's a conference room, there's sales offices with fitness integrated workspaces, there's random alligator heads around, there's swords.
And maybe the most badass desks that I've ever seen.
No,
Yeah.
Sorinex has really hit it out of the mark in terms of their construction and what they're doing in terms of like their stand-up desks. They actually had a set of bunk beds that I'm gonna somehow score. I want a set of those bunk beds for our office. So when Tex comes over and stays.
Right. So yeah, we have the recovery center so if you're gonna lift, you're gonna move, and you obviously have to recover from training. So we set up the facility exactly like that. There's an area to lift, there's an area to run, move, jump, and then obviously you got to have the recovery space that has 4 bunk beds in there, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, showers, Normatex, Theraguns, everything like that, so everybody can chill out.
And also attachment points for handcuffs.
Well, you said that, I didn't.
I'm just telling you. I mean, but that's what you told me yesterday. You're like, the best part about this is you can handcuff people to
But
this.
2-inch holes on center, 1-inch spacing. I'm just saying. If you're into that, and you and Tex, it's great that y'all are staying there.
It's
together.
true. I mean, I'm really happy about it. I mean, it was so weird that you had the Sorinex ball gags. I just couldn't figure out why you were wearing them all the time. It was with that leather hat. It was so strange. I mean,
It's
hey.
the mandible. It's the mandible these days.
The future.
The future is the
It's
future
cutting
of
edge,
strength.
literally.
Well, we were talking about closing the kinetic chain, right? With mouthpieces and how you apply that to football.
Yeah, well, it was very similar to what
Bert's revolutionizing that for weightlifting, except it's
We call that power gimp.
That's where you're using all the lacrosse
I thought it was
balls.
kind of Pulp Fiction-esque.
Well, yeah, that's the new use of lacrosse balls.
Perfect.
So no more lacrosse, no more mobility. It's
Just,
closing the kinetic chain.
Well-
We're going air quotes again.
To this day, one of my favorite lines in a movie comes from Pulp Fiction when he's like, "You all right?" He's like, "I'm pretty fucking far from all right." I'm like
We
Marcel, yeah, he's like, "We cool?" "Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
we cool."
Let me
He's
see
like,
again.
yeah, he's like, "I ever see you again?" He's like, "You stay gone, you be gone."
This is a perfect transition into the greatest movie year of all time, in my opinion, 1994. So we took a 30-minute break at the seminar today.
Did we
argue
decide
this.
on 94?
No, it was
I decided
1985.
on
You decided.
No.
That's
no.
a 2 to 3.
Wait, hold
2
on.
to 1.
I was
You
alive
pull
in
up
95.
right now. You pull up 1994, and we'll compare 1994 to 1985, which I believe to be the greatest movie year ever.
Yeah, I'm going 85. By the way, I'm
Well,
on
you haven't
record.
heard 94 except for Pulp
It doesn't
Fiction.
matter.
Hold on.
And Forrest Gump.
All right.
And
So
Happy Gilmore.
in
Want to go tit for tat on this?
Let's do it.
What, one
All
for
right.
one here, John? You
All
can't
right.
rattle 10. Hold on. Hold
Back
on.
to the Future.
That's pretty
Game over.
good. Nope.
Hold
He
on.
just got slammed.
No,
Your
it's a good
fucking
film.
boat is taking on water.
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Breakfast Club.
Ooh, I like that.
True Lies.
Ooh. Goonies.
Dumb and Dumber.
Weird Science.
The Lion King.
Rambo. Part 2.
That's the one with the bows.
Natural Born Killers.
Rocky 4.
The Crow.
Commando.
You're out.
Scrolling.
Speed.
Spies Like Us.
The Mask.
You're getting hosed.
You're swinging wild now.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
D2, The Mighty Duck.
Right? Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Show enough!
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Ooh, he comes back strong. Oh, that's strong.
Fletch.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Stop some bleeding.
Maverick.
You
Sleeper.
put Maverick against Fletch?
Yeah. Sleeper pick, Mel Gibson. Ace in the hole. He felt it.
Teen Wolf.
Clear and Present Danger.
Real Genius. Val Kilmer's greatest movie.
Naked Gun 33 and a half. Third.
All right. And you know what? I'm going to come with the knockout shot right now. Pale Rider.
Major League 2.
Oh my God. The Legend of Billie Jean.
Oh, come on.
Did I already say Forrest Gump? I think I gave that away too early.
Okay, so you're at Forrest Gump right now?
Forrest Gump.
You didn't have a response for Billie Jean.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, man in motion. Come
Tombs,
on.
filmed at Georgetown. Interview with the Vampire. Tommy Cruise.
Enemy Mine. Zombies.
Time Cop.
European Vacation.
Oh, come on, pig and a poke.
Richie Rich.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Big. You got nothing, 94.
I'm gonna go for a reacher here. Above the Rim, starring Tupac.
He already had like 6 reachers.
Yeah.
I think we still got a big top.
dude, I'm
we
still
still got
bombing
Pee
him.
Wee's Big Adventure in there. Don't
I know,
forget that
dude.
one.
No, I know. I already went with that one.
Oh.
All right. Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
What? Now you're reaching. Billy Madison.
Ouch.
Oh.
Red Sonja.
Uh-oh.
Red Sonja. I'm not familiar with this.
Bridget Nielsen? Come on.
Yeah. Fucking Conan the Barbarian, the sequel.
True story.
We're going to argue about Cooper's statement you made earlier.
Possibly. Hoop Dreams. I'm
The
tapping
Color
Is that a
Purple.
Oh,
I saved that one for the very end. The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Because the end in purple.
I'm not gonna quit. This is what we call a Hail Mary in the business. The Santa Claus, starring Tim Allen.
Oh, that's you just failed off of that in general. I don't care what he says.
That's all I got.
It's not even a Christmas movie.
All right. Oh, hold on. Let me if I can pull this thing out a little bit.
I got one more, and I'm not confident.
All right, hold on.
You got a boot gun right now, don't you?
Yes. I got Team 94.
Ooh, hold on. I got Cocoon.
Ooh.
And I have Desperately Seeking Susan.
Madonna's
Well,
best
here-
hit.
Right? I
Hold
also
it.
I
We
also
got new life. We got new life.
I also have
call the bullpen right here.
I have Mask. Rocky Dennison.
Heck yeah, Rocky.
Say
And Cher.
hey,
Wait for
throw
it.
all these out. I got a few here. I'm sticking with Van Damme. Street Fighter. Actually saw that in theaters.
Hold on. All right. I can't believe, dude. I thought after Pale Rider, you would have basically just, at that point, just given up.
I'm not even listening to you. I'm just reading off my list.
Police Academy 2, their first assignment.
Starring Callie Hinsman. I'll go.
Whoa, hold on. I'm saving the
There has
best
to be a
one.
Beverly Hills
You
Cop.
give
in
me
there.
whatever you
I
have.
got 3. 1994 is Beverly Hills.
Whatever
Cop 3.
you
I'm
got
not throwing
next
it out there.
is going to get fucking stomped on right here
Well,
next to
the
this.
Jungle Book, the cartoon.
I'd say I have 2 words for you that'll end this right now. Vision Quest.
Oh, come on.
Dude,
Lunatic Fringe.
you really have nothing else on that
Yeah.
one. Loudon Swain. Are you serious? You even want to
Best
come at
training
me?
montage besides Rocky IV. Same year.
It's true.
What movie invented the training montage? Now we're just getting into movie trivia.
I would think probably Rocky.
All right, what about American Ninja? Michael Dudikoff.
The Little Rascals.
Remo Williams. The Adventure Begins.
That was a good one.
Brewster's Million.
Oh, that's
Wyatt Earp.
Day of the Dead.
You have me during a podcast.
Stargate.
I feel like we go through this on any year and find movies that were like, yeah. And movies that were like, meh.
All right, hold on.
Movies they said now have been like, eh.
Oh, no, dude, there's some really... I think 1985 takes it, hands down.
Your bias.
Oh, dude, there's no way that this, 1985 has had the best collection of movies.
Based on 1985 coming first, it had to actually be a more difficult task.
Are you suggesting that 1985 inspired all these 1994 films?
I think 1985 is probably the greatest year of movies ever.
I'll throw one more out there. The reason being, it created an opportunity for this director to make everything else. But Clerks.
Oh, that is a good one.
All right.
That's solid.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the fact that I have Vision
The fact
Quest,
you don't have one coming back?
the fact that I laid out Vision Quest and Pale Rider and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
And Mad Max.
Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, Dumb and Dumber, Billy Madison. It's up for the audience to decide.
Yeah, we'll let the audience vote on this one.
But it's definitely one of those 2 years.
It is.
I mean, it sure as crap ain't 93.
I don't know.
We
It
don't know.
doesn't matter.
We've never
That's
looked
my
at 93.
point.
93
It
might
doesn't
be
matter.
better.
That's
I'm going to do it now. I feel like 2000 is pretty solid. I'm going to be completely honest.
If it included a Fast and Furious,
What do we got?
it's out.
2000.
I mean, just the first two, Gladiator and The Patriot.
Okay.
I do. The Patriot was 2000.
Yeah.
God damn it! I love that movie.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden
I mean,
Dragon.
he gets-
my personal favorite movie ever, Snatch.
It's a great one, but I do like Rock and Roll a little bit better.
X-Men, American Psycho, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, American
Remember
Psycho.
The Titans.
Well, American Psycho might
2000's
be
a solid year.
one of my favorite movies.
Eggshell White. Our business cards are modeled
Or
off of
actually,
American.
Nimbus. It's
Gone in
called.
60 Seconds.
He's like, is that blood? No, it's cran apple. My favorite is when he's
Well, when
putting
you-
the dead body in the back of the trunk, and the guy's like, asks him about the bag, and he's like, "You're mistaken, Lewis." And then it's like,
What,
"Oh,
what
sorry."
you guys can't see on this podcast are these sheepish grins when they give their quotes. It's hilarious.
Well, let's talk about the statement you made earlier with Val Kilmer's best movie. What was that?
Real Genius.
No, he was in Tombstone.
Yeah, he was Doc Holliday.
But he wasn't the guy.
Yeah, he wasn't the star. He was.
Who cares about Wyatt Earp with Doc Holliday in there? What?
Doc-
whose
Doc-
lines
Doc
do
was
you
phenomenal.
say?
Doc-
Whose
Doc-
lines do you quote from that movie?
We can shift this to actors. I'll tell you, can't miss Kurt freaking Russell. That guy can do no wrong. I'll watch
Overboard.
any Kurt. Yeah, it was great.
I
He
know,
shows
that's
his
my
range.
favorite movie.
He's a comedian as well as a very serious, amazing actor. And when he combines it, when he combines serious with comedy in Big Trouble in Little China, forget about it.
Big Trouble Little China is a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pork Chop Express is has been, more. I'm sure,
Just keep on being.
Yeah. Well,
Who shook these beers up?
I mean, it's the Pork Chop is a good old Jack Burton. He is.
hero.
What year was that? It's probably before you were born.
No, or 89. 89's also good. You got Roadhouse.
Right now, fucking good old balls deep Hinsman's going to be like, Jesus Christ, these fucking idiots have been talking about movies
And
for
Luke
20
is
minutes.
taking notes.
Luke's sad he's not here.
Yeah, this is his dream.
I guess the
podcast.
thing is, how many of these movies haven't the listeners heard or
Well,
watched?
Everything from
at
me.
this point, in like the mere fact that Vision Quest is associated with 1985 just makes it an instant winner in my book.
Sure.
One of the greatest movies ever made is Vision Quest.
Shawshank. Pull.
Is that like
I'm
when
not-
Indians send their kids out into the wild to see their?
No, dude, that's a wrestling movie.
No, it's.
Bitchin'.
Do you remember where he's going to wrestle the shoot?
I've never seen this stuff.
What?
Oh my
I'll
god!
Netflix it tonight.
Yeah,
All right, we're still good.
dude, it's what's his name? Loudon Swain is. I will keep it. It's not Matthew McConaughey. It's
He looks kind of like him, though.
no. It begins with an M. It's Matthew Modine.
Yeah.
So Matthew Modine.
Look at you, Hollywood.
You
You
Did
know-
I ever
you
tell you
know all
about the
your
one time I went to
roommates.
the Playboy Mansion and I got to hang out with Ben Affleck?
No, never heard that one. I bet that was wild.
Yeah, we had a weird time. It was a good time.
I bet you did some bitchin' golfing tours, dude. Some charity golfing events.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that was a weird one too. So
Yeah, that
did we
yeah.
just lock down your Summer Strong presentation, John?
what?
Why 1985 is the greatest movie year? of all
I'm
time?
down with that.
I was gonna go more with things that Ben Affleck asks you at the Playboy Mansion for $100, Alex.
Your presentation
100,
100,
200, and 300.
I mean,
Oh man.
so
Things I know I need to take.
Ben
God.
Affleck movies from 1985.
So I was going to ask you something today. I was watching Breeze at the gym.
The Breeze, actually.
Breeze.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure DeBreeze isn't going to listen to this podcast, so I'll
Actually, to tell you the truth, the
He
funniest
probably
part.
will
No,
listen to this
the
podcast.
best part is, one day I was talking to him. I'm like, Breeze, did you see so and so on the Facebook or whatever? He goes, Hammer, let me just tell you. He goes, frankly, the Breeze is too damn cool to own a computer. He goes, what the hell? The federale's going to kick in my door one day, and I'm sitting there in my underwear on some damn chat room. He goes, it would ruin 25 years of great image I have with him. Hell no, ain't happening.
Okay, so
just so you know, doesn't own a computer.
Okay, so well that's good. Then how, so he was telling me he trains people.
Who knows what the Breeze actually does?
Nobody knows.
No one really knows
Yeah.
where the Breeze go or it had beeth.
Well, I didn't know. I was trying to pick out which vehicle was DeBreeze's.
Yeah.
When I walked out there, and you know what? I was pretty sure it wasn't the Toyota 4Runner, but it could have
True
been.
story.
It was the 4Runner?
No, it was not. It was not.
I imagine him driving around in like a 1986 Lincoln Continental.
He did in '86 when he was a professional wrestler. Now he drives around, or he drove around a big truck for a while, known as the Mule, for a while, with a pair of muddy rubber boots crammed in the back, like between the bed and the in the cab.
Hey, just go find the one with paper plates. It's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, with hooker glitter on it. Or something.
He was trying to tell me, he's like, yeah, kids and girlfriends, and I was like, what the fuck is DeBreeze talking about? But we were. So I as I was watching him today, obviously try to get under a squat, and then the guy. Bert thought it'd be funny to bring in, one of his mentors in life and somebody who's really modeled himself after this guy, aka DeBreeze. So DeBreeze is a quality human being. Told me within the first 6 minutes of knowing him that he'd been shot 6 times and stabbed multiple times.
And run over by a FedEx truck.
He got hit by a car, worked as a wrecker and a professional wrestler. I think at one point he went on tour with Motley Crue because he was the guy that was
And he
making shit happen.
And out partied Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Keith Richards told him, Breeze, we got to go home. I'm going to die.
True statement. So as I'm watching DeBreeze try to squeeze himself underneath the squat bar today, I was looking at your the bar with the
Ox bar.
the ox bar. So what about the and I've never squatted with an ox bar, but we have a buffalo bar and also like
Sure.
a Duffalo bar with the curve. So how would you equate the ox bar to some of those? Is it a
Sure.
better curb? How does it feel?
what we did with that, I trained on a Buffalo bar since the early '90s when they were first available. Dad had one of the first ones. I actually tested one of the first ones. It's a great bar, lays across your shoulders really well. Has like a slow, gentle curve, right? So the Ox, we were thinking about, obviously doing a bar of that type, and we started playing with some different angles and some different designs, and we realized that almost instead of a gentle curve, actually having more of an abrupt break in the middle, kind of like a bend, actually takes the pressure off the cervical spine right there at the top between the traps. So it transfers it out. Instead of being evenly out over the shoulder and the spine, it actually pulls it out to the shoulder. And we tested it with some of the strongest squatters in the world probably 4 years ago, and they ran over 1,200 pounds with it. And we all liked it too. We were like, well, maybe we're onto something, but some of the strongest people in the world, what do they think? And they're like, damn, this bar feels freaking amazing. Nice. So it was kind of an underground project we were playing with. It's been, Ox Bar, it's been a good bar for us. We sell a good bit of them to specifically NFL, and actually Major League Baseball is jumping on them now because they're taking off some of the shoulder pressure. So it's pretty much the only bar I squat with if I got the chance. I still like the Buffalo bar. It's a good one. I felt a Buffalo. Chris showed me one of his bars. I got it on my back. I haven't squatted heavy with it. Yep. It may be very, very good. I can't speak to it.
Yeah, we got one. They have like a Black Friday deal or something. So we try to support other businesses. So we actually bought one and used it, and we'll use it to deadlift, and we've used it to bench and do some things. It's fun. I had never squatted with your Ox bar, so I saw it today.
Yeah, try it out tomorrow. See what you think. I'd love to get your insight.
Watching Breeze get underneath it was actually he asked me to help him get underneath. Can you push me underneath? I got this frozen shoulder. And he was like,
good Breeze impression.
Yeah, I was working on it to the point where I started doing it back to him, and he didn't really notice. So, which makes me realize that when he talks, he doesn't actually listen to what you're saying.
There's a chance of that.
Yeah, no, he was just listening to what he was saying.
Yeah. The Breeze is a special anomaly of a person.
Does he just show up?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, which goes right with the moniker of
the Breeze.
Well,
he blows in like a warm breeze.
And that's how I asked him one day. And in a sober moment, I asked Breeze. I said,
"You or him?"
Well, potentially both. But for the story, he could never be sober. So we were hanging out one night, and I was like, Breeze, like honestly, how did you get the name the Breeze? And he goes, well, Hammer. I'll be honest in how he said it. Well, I was running whores back in some of those bars back in Florence, and I was going in the bar there, and all the old codgers sitting at the bar they watched me as I walked in the bar. He goes, mind you, I was 14, and he goes,
throw that out there.
Yeah, mind you, I was 14, and still had a 315 power clean, and was pushing bales of hay up the hill, getting ready for football season, eating brewer's yeast and eating the fertilized eggs that the rooster had screwed the day before. But besides all that, 14 years old, just sobered up,
semen.
Just sobered up from a liquor drunk, chasing them whores into the Florence tavern. And then some of the fellers at the bar said, oh, here he comes, just breezing on in like he owns the place. And he goes, and from there, Hammer, I was the Breeze. And upon one of his attacks that ended up in multiple stitches and potential life support, he coined the phrase, it ain't easy being breezy. As he said that with tubes in his mouth, helping him breathe, as the bullet wounds were getting unfestered.
That's what you don't really run into in California is guys like the Breeze, and
right.
I have a feeling that people like him exist in places like this and also places like that in Texas.
Sure.
But they're. Could you imagine a guy like the Breeze out in Orange County? He wouldn't exist. He could be himself.
Walrus.
Yeah. You think he's a walrus? He could be. You should ask him if he knows the Beatles. And he's like, yep, I was a walrus.
There's quite the chance. No, it's actually funny. He called one day. And what he'll do, he'll call and he'll just start, if I don't answer the phone, or if I do, there's rarely any introduction. Hey, Bert, how you doing?
He just starts talking.
He'll just start going. And I'll show you some voicemails later, and they're absolutely hilarious because I save them because they're funny as shit. So he's like, so I'm hanging out with, and then that's how the message starts. And then he's like, so I'm hanging out with so-and-so that used to play in the league at so-and-so team, and we were mixing so-and-so pills with this and Bloody Marys, and, because he did this and this, and it's just, the story zips off in a wormhole for a minute. And he's like, and then I was hanging out with Willie Joe Namath. So, can I say that based on Joe Namath?
Yeah, everybody knows him as Willie Joe.
Right, I got you. But can I say that a story that potentially actually happened?
Yeah, sure. I
Okay,
mean, believe me, I don't think we're going to offend any Joe Namath people, or we're not going to surprise anybody with
Sure.
Joe Namath problem.
So-
God knows he used to rock a fur coat, and he used to hang out at Studio 54.
Sure. So the story goes, so I'm hanging out with so-and-so and Willie Joe, and I wish he was here to tell it. And so we're hanging out, and we're waking up the next morning after a big, long party, and if you remember, Willie Joe could pull all the ass he wants to pull. And he goes, but we're sitting there looking through the bottom of a Bloody Mary through the sunlight coming in the door, and this just nasty looking chick just comes slinking out of his old hotel bedroom in the back. And we're like, dang, look at her. That's usually a little bit under Willie Joe's standards. And he goes, old Joe comes out. I said, Joe, what's the story with that chick? And he goes, I just heard her sing just amazing. She just made me feel. And she was up on stage, and he goes, gosh, with that much emotion, I just had to know how she was in the sack. He goes, Joe was banging Janis Joplin. He goes, which made me feel way better about doing it myself. That was the message I got on like a Tuesday with no context, no...
So he's telling, Janis Joplin died in what, like...
71,
like,
72?
yeah, so I mean, he's telling you stories from like the late 60s.
But do the timelines cross with like Willie Joe's career?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, we can probably Google it really right here. But I mean, like, there were stories like, so I don't know if you guys know this recently, but they auctioned off Janis Joplin's Porsche. So she had this little bitch in 911, and one of her roadies, she was like, hey, the guy was like an artist. He's like, I'd really like to paint on it. So he painted this like one of the most iconic cars on the planet.
Yeah, it was in the movie Pearl.
Yeah. Yeah, so they just auctioned it off, and I watched this whole special on on Speed Week about Janis Joplin's Porsche, and like they had a whole deal, and they had her sister, and I think it was her brother or something get up, and the sister was actually like, Janis was like this, like larger than life character, and she would throw her hotel room key out at stage to guys. Nice. So guys would be like, we love, she like fucking throw her hotel, like, come see me, here's my fucking hotel room key. And so she was,
she was down for the cause.
She was fucking ready to get, she was living the rock star life.
TGS.
Yeah.
So Breeze's story could completely be corroborated.
But I don't have any doubt on Breeze's story. The only problem is when was this? When did you get this message? Like recently?
Tuesday?
Last Tuesday?
Actually, I think I got it the night that Cal Dietz was staying at my house.
So like within the last year?
Oh, within a year, yeah.
So he's telling you, so we're in 2016.
Sure.
Let's say 2016, let's say. So he's telling you about a story that potentially happened 40, 50 years ago.
Sure. Which makes him 7, which really dials in perfectly.
Yeah.
To the legend.
Well, he's 55 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he told me like 7 times today he was 55 years old. So as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if that story could have necessarily been true, because I'm thinking, well, let's do a little checking here. How old's Joe Namath? Let's look it up. There's this thing called the Google.
The interwebs.
So we got, the interweb. So we have Joe
Is that on phones now?
Namath. So Joe Namath.
And then you cross-reference it with the Breeze, Janis Joplin.
Is the Breeze on the internet?
He tries not to be.
So
that would ruin his
here's the
image
only
as well.
problem. Joe Namath is 73.
fact check.
So Joe Namath is 73 years old.
Sure. So he's right in the wheelhouse.
So, well, Joe Namath, okay, and when did Janis Joplin die?
71, I think.
Janis Joplin.
Her, Jimmy, and Jim Morrison all 71, right?
She was 1970.
I thought it was 71.
So-
They're all 27.
Yeah, they were all they all died of
Hank
choking
Williams
on their own.
won as well.
And who else
They
was
all choked on their
27?
vomit.
In your favorite year, 1994 or 5 or whatever the heck it was.
Cobain?
You got it. Nice work.
So, Janis Joplin was the same age, born in 1943, as Joe Namath. So that collaborated. The only problem is,
When is the freeze?
well, if it's 2017 and we minus 55, 1962.
Which, based
19
on the,
years.
based on the legend, perfectly feasible.
Well,
Yeah, well, at 14, he was
assuming
running
if he's running whores at 14, and so if DeBreeze was hanging out, drinking,
Cobra Fang cocktails.
yeah, Cobra Fang cocktails with Joe Namath when he was 14 and Joe Namath was 34. So, I mean,
There's a chance.
Yes.
There's a chance.
Well-
Tex even said it. There's a chance.
hold on.
I'm more surprised, honestly. That
Wait,
there's
hold
a
on.
chance.
Let's look at this. So let's say it was 1969 was the year.
Sure.
That means DeBreeze was born in 62. That means that he would have had to have been 7 or 8 years old when Janis Joplin was alive.
If she was 2 years, that was 2 years prior.
Well, he was born in 62 if he's 55.
Right.
So
So
she
9
died in
at
70.
70, right.
According to the breeze.
Well, he's
somewhat
he's
like
kind of like
Beelzebub.
he's kind of like Jesus Christ a little bit.
Or at least Beelzebub.
That's true. He is like Beelzebub. This probably could be true, seeing as that DeBreeze is running whores at 14. So there's a good chance that he was out partying, having sex with Janis Joplin and Joe Namath when he was 8 years old.
It makes more sense than not.
Story checks out.
Story
Yeah,
checks out.
this totally makes sense. So what you're saying is we got to take this stuff with a grain of salt.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say. But, regardless, one of the best storytellers ever made. Secondly, if once you hear the stories and you think that's complete BS, and then you talk to someone and you're like, damn it, it's actually true. Because everyone I did thought was completely crap, someone actually corroborates. They're like, oh, no, I was there for that. Yeah, that actually happened. I'm
Really? Like what? Like Joe Namath? So now we're gonna have to reach out to Joe
What is it?
Namath.
Joe.
And the crazy part is you'd be like, Joe, DeBreeze. And he'd be like, yeah.
Yeah,
Be like,
seriously.
fuck.
Yeah, I
The
knew
breeze.
it.
The breeze.
That's exactly it.
Is
That's-
Namath on Twitter?
He's 73 years old.
We should go to, yeah, but he's an icon.
Didn't he get like shit faced and like feel up some like sideline reporter recently or something?
Sounds about right.
That was kind of like apropos, though, in those days, right? That was kind of the thing.
What do you mean? What, to feel people up?
Oh, I've seen Anchorman.
Oh, he actually, fucking Joe Willie Namath has a Twitter account.
Just tweet the breeze
That's
at
the
Joe
guy-
Namath.
Be like, Joe, do you know the breeze? Yes or no? Say once or
Well, we can get if all of Power Athlete Nation retweets Wellborn's tweet at Namath, do you know the breeze? It'll catch his eye. Now you gotta do it, John.
wow.
I mean, because it can't be just about a little rock and roll band out of Jacksonville, Florida, talking about the breeze.
Was he a rock star?
No, he was a
He was
roadie.
running horse to the rock
He
stars.
was a roadie / party friend / professional wrestler / role model for serial killers.
The breeze is bulking technique. We're sitting in Bert's office one day, okay? The breeze is in, never met the guy before. We're sitting there. He goes, Breeze. That's how he introduces himself. I still don't know his real name.
I don't think anybody does.
But he just, no hello, no nothing, goes, Bert. However much salt you're eating, triple it. Walks out. That's the
That
trick.
honestly
Wait,
happened.
bulking.
That honestly happened.
Well, the one I liked was Bert and I had this great discussion. We're talking about Dan John, guy we've had on our podcast, and he said, Dan John at SummerStorm last year gave us great talk about takeaways you could have, and one of them was like, if you step on the scale and you're 300 pounds and you're not a professional athlete, or on the way to be a professional athlete, you probably shouldn't weigh 300 pounds. You should go see a doctor. So like Bert says that, and I was kind of chuckled and laughed to myself of a personal story of my own. I was training pretty hard, and Louis Simmons hit me up a bunch of years ago, and I went out to Westside and started training.
Sure.
And after about 3 weeks at Westside, of like eating at Bob's and Bob Evans and all that other shit, and just basically training and lifting with Louis and like banging serious weights, I stepped on the scale and I was like 320 plus pounds. I was like 326.
Gee.
And I came home and I was like, I'm gonna fucking squat 1,000 pounds.
Sure.
And so we started fucking training, and I was like, thought maybe Louis' scale was fucked up or whatever. And so after about like 3 months of this, I'm like, I like got up one morning and I like was trying to roll out of bed. And like my wife was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I can't get up." And I like had to like throw my leg over, and I finally rolled out of bed. And my wife's like, "How much are you weighing?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I stepped on the scale, and I was like 300, almost 330 pounds. And I remember my wife's like, "Do you think that's healthy?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." And then I went in the gym, and I squatted 800 in a set of briefs.
Naturally.
So fast that when I stood up so fast, the weight almost shot off my back. And my spotters collectively couldn't squat 800 pounds. And they were like, "Let's not do this anymore. You're going to fucking kill us." And I was like, "Yeah, this is probably a bad idea." But I was laughing when you said it, because my wife's like, "This is probably not a good idea for you to be weighing this much."
Yeah, unless you're a professional lineman or shot putter, 300 pounds, no bueno.
Well, yeah, and like 300, I blew way past that. And I remember I was out at the West Side for like 3 weeks. My wife's like, "How'd you put on like 20 pounds?" I'm like, "I have no fucking idea. It's just, you're at Westside. You're eating fucking with Louis Simmons every meal. All of a sudden, you put on all this extra weight."
Is this when Nate hit the 40-inch waist?
Oh, I can't remember. No, that wasn't then. But that was probably one of my other greatest stories with Nate. Was Nate was this kid we were training, and he's one of our buddies, and we ended up when Louis hit me up, I took Nate with me.
Sure.
Because Nate's got a very acute, very interesting sense of humor and a funny perspective.
What years was that? Or what year was that?
This had to be 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. And so I bring Nate with me, and Nate is at this time, always still is, kind of a piece of shit college kid. So he like used to sleeping all day, staying up all night.
Sure.
So all of a sudden we fly out to Columbus, Ohio, which is on East Coast time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, we got to be up for Bob Evans at 8 a.m. And so we got to be up at 6, right?
Sure.
Which is the equivalent of like 5 o'clock, which is 2 a.m. East Pacific time. So like I get up, and Nate's like basically like doesn't know what's happening. I grab him. We get in the car, and I'm like, "Let's go get a coffee." So we go to Starbucks. And I'm like, "Go in and get us 2 venti Americanos, come on out." So like Nate hands me my coffee, and so instantly as he hands me the coffee, I like just go to pound it. And one of my mutant powers is the ability to drink really hot coffee, because I've been drinking hot coffee all my life.
Asbestos mouth.
Yeah, just really pound it. And so I see Nate like hold this coffee, like looks at me, and I see him shake his head, goes like this, and goes, and spits the coffee all over the truck. And proceeds to scald and burn his mouth to the point where he has like sores and burns in his mouth, and he can't fucking eat anything. And he's like, like fucking freaking out that he fucking burned his mouth. And like he's like, "How the fuck did you drink that coffee?" I'm like, "Because I'm not a fucking woman like you, bitch." And like just talking shit to him nonstop. So, moral of the story is, we had a good time. But, my poor wife, dude, was so funny. I was like, So, that story you were laughing about. So, to Breeze today, as I'm talking with him, I'm like, "Breeze, you been on a scale lately?" He's like, "No, I ain't go near a scale." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't really want to. I know it's not going to be good. The Breeze don't want to know it's not good." And I was like, "All right." But I was looking at Breeze thinking, he's easily got to be 300 plus pounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he hasn't been south of 300 probably since...
8 years old. Until he banged Janis Joplin.
Somewhere there. Yeah, I mean, he was in the 350 area in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
So in the 80s, you used to rock a leather vest.
Leather vest,
chaps,
shirt. As I grew up, Breeze would come by the gym, haphazardly, which is another funny story. And I actually saw this. I could corroborate with this. The local police used to work out at our gym as well.
So you guys always had a Sorin gym?
Yeah, we always had a gym since I grew up. It's just whether it be a little private place or commercial gym, whatever. So a lot of the cops worked out at our gym, and actually a couple of them. One of them is the sheriff of our town now. That was my workout partner when I was a kid, and Breeze would get in so many fights during the week at random bars that he owned and everything through town. they would call it a 287 because simple assault cost $287 for the ticket. So they would serve him his warrants for the tickets on like Thursday because that was the day he squatted. He would always squat at our gym with all the other big squatters. But he lifted with all the cops. So he was like the outlaw that they always kind of liked. And they knew he was like bad and they're going to have to arrest him probably, but they respected him. So they would literally show up and serve the warrants at the gym, but wait till he got done with his sets of squats. And they would just hang out and watch. And they're like, Breeze, we got a couple more for you. He's like, yeah, just put him on the bag. And they would literally put his actual tickets for simple assault that he would get weekly on this gym bag. And he would like, all right, gladly, hey boys, like or whatever. I actually saw that happen when I was growing up.
Wow.
It was wild. And so, yeah, I saw him, like I said before, like, pull up to the gym in the Buick, puke out the door, put 4 cans of Fix-A-Flat in the tire from the night before, walk in, take a t-shirt and a pair of shorts from Pops, go out and lift, literally squat over 500 pounds, and you're like, wow, I doubt that guy slept for days. And then get his warrants and he'd leave. And then you see him next week. It was great.
Wow.
It's quite a role model.
He's kind of a cartoon character.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. He's like if you took Bluto from Popeye and Yosemite Sam and Foghorn Leghorn.
And you had them in a band together that sang nothing but Molly Hatchet songs.
Exactly.
That would be DeBreeze.
Pretty much.
I say. That's what he reminded me of the day when I was talking with him. He was talking about Foghorn Leghorn. You remember where he's like, you remember Foghorn Leghorn? He was the chicken. You remember where the little guy's like the big rooster where the little chicken hawk was like, I say. So as he's talking to me today, I realize he's fucking Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, he's Bluto / Foghorn.
Yeah.
Wow. Just like another character in my life is Rudy Reyes, and I try to describe him to people, kind of like
not Foghorn Leghorn.
Not Foghorn, more like
he kind of gives me a little bit more of the Brad Pitt Legends of the Fall.
1994. But
I'm going more.
whatever.
Is it?
Yeah.
Legends of the Fall, 1994.
Yeah.
What? 1994 Legends of the Fall. All right, that might have tipped the scale.
Pulp Fiction was 94 too.
Yeah. That was what I led off with.
I know.
I hit a grand slam. Lead off.
I don't know, dude. We're so fucking. We got Vision Quest.
What? We digress.
Well, no, like I said, just another amazing person is Rudy Reyes, and he's like, in my opinion, like if you took Bruce Lee, John Rambo from the first movie, mixed him with Gary Busey, and
Which Gary Busey?
like
which Gary Busey?
like Point Break,
Like Point Break.
Yeah.
Like you talk, give me 2.
Yeah.
Or
Point Break, Gary
more
Busey.
like 40. Or I was kind of thinking more like Nick Nolte in 48 Hours.
Ooh.
A little bit. That might be a good one.
And then you throw in maybe like David Bowie.
So if David Bowie, Nick Nolte, Gary Busey, David Bowie, John Rambo, and Bruce Lee all roll. Jesus Christ.
Well,
There's only one Rudy Reyes.
Generation Kill, they tried to cast him
Right.
to play
Himself.
They couldn't find any.
No, he was there as
actor.
their military liaison to
Right.
help them, and they go, "No one can be you.
Yeah.
You are only there is one with Rudy Reyes." Yeah,
So he's that unique
he
butterfly.
is that unique. He's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. Just his heart, because it's not even on his sleeve; it's just like hanging out over his chest, and what you see is exactly what he is. Like he'll hang out at the house. You'll see all these videos of him on Instagram and YouTube and all this other stuff of him, and it's like Silky's walking around super shredded, ripped, and just super amped. And I'll walk downstairs in my house and there's Rudy Reyes at my kitchen counter in Silky's, nothing else, freaking playing with my 4-year-old son and doing like backflips. He's getting so excited and jacked up just to see like my son's face light up. Like he's that amped about life. He's like one of the most genuine people I've ever seen and met. I would say he's the most emotionally courageous.
Yeah, I read his book after Some Strong in May.
Yeah. It's just he's an amazing
book?
person.
Yeah. Heroes.
Warrior Spirit or
Warrior
something
Spirit.
like that.
I got it on my phone.
Nice. Was it good?
Yeah.
Did he write it, or was it like ghostwritten or something?
No, he wrote it. Hero Living.
Yep.
He talks about whetstone, so essentially principles in which he lives by to reflect back on and then go from there.
Yeah. Grew up in an orphanage.
Yeah, and he goes through his life in the beginning. It's like,
Yeah.
He's Hard Knocks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, just an amazing person. And then it's like one of the weird pleasures of my life. I think it was Summer Strong 8, 9, to introduce Rudy and the Breeze. Like I introduced him at the Friday
like a great
night
band.
party, and I'm just sitting there like going, "Oh, this is going to be amazing." And
What happened with like two magnets that just opposed each other?
no, it was like you would expect it to be, just a complete and total, just barfarama. It was amazing. Like just, this first you're kind of squaring off because you get two amazingly
Big personalities.
huge personalities, can't fit in the room either one of them, and they kind of both figure each other out. Like, oh man, like you're gonna feed me. And
It's like a hurricane.
And by the end of the
I'm
night,
cold.
oh my gosh! By the end of the night, Breeze comes up to me like he calls Rudy American Beauty because he has a nickname for me. He was like, American Beauty and I are going to go to the shoe show. I'm like, what's the shoe show? He goes, well, they only wear shoes. I was like, perfect. That's what he calls strip clubs, the shoe show.
Oh, the shoe.
I'm gonna steal that one.
Because they only wear shoes there. So, yeah, no, he and American Beauty are now boys, and it's just funny. I literally talked to both of them today, and they both texted me, said that they just checked in with the other one, and the other guy's okay. He's like, I just talked to Breeze, he's doing good. And he was like, I just talked to American Beauty, he's doing good.
They're checking on each
This is
other.
perfect. It's just awesome. So that's part of, like, the Summer Strong 10.
The buddy system.
Oh, it's going to be...
Yeah, if your buddy, that would be hilarious
Buddy.
if you show up and you get a bracelet and somebody else gets a
Buddy.
bracelet. You have to go around and be like, "You're my buddy for the weekend."
Your swim buddy. Don't think I'm not going to do that.
Oh, that's fucking genius! You show up and you're like, "I have a bracelet, and my bracelet's got the same number as your bracelet. I guess we're buddies." And then you're like, "Everybody find your buddy."
Yes, I'm telling you right now, I am doing that this year. You can't leave your swim buddy.
Be like, "Don't leave me, Breeze."
Oh gosh, yeah. So American Beauty and the Breeze, and then you got Breeze's sidekick, his straight man, is named Cadillac, and he looks like he's straight out of The Sopranos, and that guy is pure class, hence the name Cadillac. So he'll be, you know Cadillac, right?
I met Rudy and Cadillac and spoke at them at the bar at 9.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, there's gonna be some interesting.
So if you guys, Summer Strong Summer Strong 10 2017 is going to be obviously the 10th year of Summer Strong. Summer Strong is really the what we're calling a down home, old time strength revival.
Yeah.
It also happens to be your old man's birthday,
Sure.
and
It's the homecoming of all of our people in the brotherhood that we love, find extraordinary, and want to introduce them to each other to make more extraordinary experiences.
Cool,
What are the dates?
May 19th, 21st.
sweet, and
Lexington, South
Power
Carolina.
Athlete will be there in full force.
Heck yeah.
It will
Can't
be
wait
there
to-
in full force.
Can't wait to hear you go off. In 1985 movie speech is completely cool with me. I know you had a great
So-
speech today.
Oh, what'd you think of the talk today?
I really enjoyed it. I
Was
very
it
much
insightful?
enjoyed it. Yeah, it was. And a lot of times, a great presentation is that maybe when you first hear it because it agrees with what you already think. But I love that it filled in the blanks for me on some of the things that maybe I had sat over beers with my buddies before and going like, okay, how does this work out? Or these long conversations you had on certain athletes or yourself or whatever it may be. So they filled in the blanks for some of that, but also took it further and what athleticism is and defined it and added clarity. So I thought that was really good.
So
I was
one of
very
the
excited about it.
analogies, why I enjoy working the seminars with John, is because the seminar is unique in that I hear legendary stories I've never heard before,
Sure.
like a couple parties, but at the same time, a new perspective. And the analogy you gave was from Neo, right? Needle in the mind.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, the splinter of the mind.
Splinter in the mind.
Yep.
So that's honestly what it gave me the itch back in 2000, my whole college athletic career, and then in 2009 of I can't scratch this itch. I'm gonna find someone who will. So the fact that you said that today, it was like took me straight back to I'm gonna find someone who can answer the questions I'm asking because everyone around me can't.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, and it was a very clear description, and it was kind of cool. Earlier we were talking to Aaron, and he defined athleticism of that fellow he was talking about, and it was just subtitles of what you had just said in your official description, and it makes perfect sense, So I won't ruin it for the people, but
I
like to. It made a lot of sense, and it's something I think more people, especially when they haven't had the 10 or 20 years in the iron game and/or high-level athletics, and they haven't had to sit there and think, "How the heck did I get beaten by that guy? He looks like a schlub." And then go, "Wow, how did whatever it may be?" You sit there and observe for decades, and have these feelings, and that was just one of those things that opened that up. So I think some people that hear that presentation won't even know those questions are out there. Yeah, but. I think by understanding that and taking that in, it'll get you further down the line and allow you to be a better coach. That's great. What's the point if I play it safe until I'm 50 and then cash out and, hey, great, I got some cash in the bank, but Dad's long gone. I want him to see his museum of physical culture. I want him to be the curator of it. I want him to see hundreds of people coming to Summer Strong 10 or Summer Strong 20 and go, and I want people to come to Summer Strong that don't even know the origin and reason of it, because it's transcended into something so much greater that people want to be involved in strength, and for Dad to be able to sit back and go, wow, this crazy ass harebrained idea in 1980 that I had to make strength equipment better than anything else. So it was out there because I wanted it better, because he didn't want to sell it. He just wanted it better for him.
Sure.
I want to award him with that, because I would hope that would be something my son would do for me when I'm close to 70 and pick up the sword and start swinging. So that is the blessing and also the curse. Yeah. Because the yoke has been transferred to me, and people go, oh, you work so hard, you're always traveling, you're always doing this. I'm like, yeah, but
what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
Yeah, I always love when people ask that, like why are you guys surprised? What else would I do?
Is there really another option?
Yeah, is there anything else?
Is there another option?
Yeah, is there anything else other than to fucking bust your ass and
Sure.
I always think too, if you get to the end of the finish line and there's not a bunch of dents, scratches, and fucking just broken off, if the car pulls in and it fucking dies, and there's no dents or scratches and it's all banged up, you're not rolling in on four ball tires and empty empty tank of gas. Did you really live the life?
Right. And how much more was available, and that's what when he finally goes, I want him to go, damn son, you did more than I ever thought was possible. Thanks for including me in this. Take it from here and go. And I hope that's a really long time from now, but I have to know every day that the best case scenario of that happening is today. Best case scenario is today. And I told him, I said, if I took the business where it was when he did it, and again, no disrespect whatsoever to where it was when he was there, but if I couldn't change it in a positive way, in my opinion, he was a failure and I was as well. Because what did he spend all that time teaching me if I was unable to build onto his knowledge at 20, what he was able to give me at 47?
So, you think about, too, what, part of the job as a parent, especially as a father having sons, you have a son, I have a son.
Sure.
Big thing I think about is what skills and what do I want to teach my son that will make him grow into the man that I'm proud of.
Correct.
And I think people don't look at that stuff anymore, and they just kind of figure oh well, I have the state to educate my child to go off to college, and hopefully he becomes a person I believe him could be, instead of being no, I am not depending on anybody to raise my child, and more importantly, allow my son to grow into the man I want him to be, unless it's me. Right. And you know what? And the way you do that is there's the age-old, kind of be a dick to your kid, but that doesn't work. Yeah. What you do, and the greatest example I have is for my dad. My dad's always been just a super hard worker, and we only got to see my dad on the weekends because he busted his ass and worked all the time.
Sure.
But I remember as a little kid waking up at 3 a.m. because I would hear my dad out on the typewriter. doing his billing and his briefs, and my dad's a lawyer, and he would do all this work. And like 3 a.m, I'm sitting there, and I would hear my dad's typewriter going all the time. Actually, I mean the ch-ch-ch-ch. And every night I heard my dad on the typewriter, and I remember asking Mom, like, "What's Dad doing?" She's like, "He's working. He's doing his billing." And I'm like, "But isn't he at work all day?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "But he comes home and he sleeps." Yeah, he does his billing, his briefs, everything he had for his cases in the morning. He would get up at 3 a.m, and I was like, "But what time?" He goes to bed. Like, he comes home after we go to bed. She's like, "Yeah, he comes home, eats dinner, and he sleeps, and he wakes up at like 2:30, 3 a.m. That's when he works." And I remember like hearing like, and my mom being like, "Well, that's what you have to do to be successful." And like, so my entire life I knew that like, if you wanted to be successful, there was like this hard work ethic, and it just is what you had to do. Nothing comes and nobody gives you anything in this world. And so like that mentality and like that for my children is like such an important thing. Like Mom and Dad work, like this is what they do. Like my kids are like, you know, where's Daddy going? Daddy works, because this is what happens. Like you have to bust your ass. And you know, like the idea that like we're not lazy and like this, like all of these things, which is, you know, people go, "Oh, it's old school or this." I mean, but no, that's how this shit works.
Yeah.
Like things just don't magically appear. Like you just don't fucking, you know, like my daughter who was like, "Oh, I broke something," and I was like, "Well, what are we gonna do? You broke it." She's like, "Well, won't Mommy just order it off of the internet?" And I was like, "No, it doesn't work like that."
Yeah.
And so like that's the deal where we've grown into this, like, you know, I mean, here's a situation, like you want good at gym. So when your dad wanted good gym equipment, what did he have to do to get it?
Build it.
He had to build it.
He had to first learn how to build it.
Yeah. And he had to like.
Then he had to buy the material. He had to borrow the tools to build it, so then he could sell one, to buy a tool so he could build it on his own and not have to borrow the tool.
Yeah. I mean, but now it's like, what do we do? You can get online and price shop, and who knows? Is there steel made in China?
Right.
That, and you know, this, and like, you know, everything is like the cheapest. Dude, I can go down to Walmart and buy a fucking squat rack.
Of course.
Or a bar that fucking bends and whatever. And so you have a situation where it's like the people that know and the people that understand quality. I mean, for me, walking around and like seeing welds and like pieces and being able to look at the fabrication and realize like, dude, those guys added gussets there because this is a load, and like how they're spreading it, and seeing the craftsmanship and the engineering that went into it was like really impressive, because I see people half-ass shit all the time, and I'm like, why would they do that? And the one thing that I couldn't see, and I would fucking have said something, I didn't see a single thing that I looked at and thought that was half-ass.
Thank you.
And so those guys have done a good job.
You know, Dad and I have talked about, maybe it was a good idea, maybe it was a curse to name the company Sorinex. If we would, you know,
there's
honestly,
nowhere to hide.
Right.
There's nowhere to fucking hide.
You know, right? If you had a freaking training or a consulting, or it was called Wellborn X, you ain't selling it. You ain't walking away from it. You're not going to just say, "Hey, this customer isn't really happy. F it. He's kind of a douche, and we're not going to worry about it because he's kind of wrong." No, it's your name. It's your name. You work your entire life to make sure your name is held in high standards. So sometimes you have to hold on to the ship and ride it down when maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it's a dumb idea. You know, I mean, we've talked.
Have you guys ever had anybody offer to come and try to buy you guys?
No, we've had some overtures, but nothing super strong.
Yeah.
But we've had years where banks told us you're crazy for going on any further. We've had years where banks told us we wouldn't give you $100 if you wanted it. We've had all those years, and all of those years were time. You know, because in 37 years you're going to have a lot of shit go down. And in all of those times, I've been in CEO groups. I've been in had third parties. Can't tell you how many times people said, "Sell it, get rid of it, soft crash it, do stuff like that." And had we done that, obviously we wouldn't be sitting here. Obviously we wouldn't have, you know, 3 years in a row, our best years. Obviously we wouldn't be in over 98% of the NFL. We wouldn't have the elite military groups making sure they had the best equipment in the world. That stuff wouldn't have happened if we would have let go of the road.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to, and it makes so much sense to. It makes so much sense to say, F it. This is really hard. I'm working 80 hours a week. I'm not getting any money. I put my entire life savings into it. I have half my salary. There's no guarantee this is going to work. My dad didn't get paid for over a year. He told me, he said, "Son, I gave you all of my money I have. I gave you the company. I'm taking a subsistence salary just to pay my bills. I think you could pull us out of this. Sorry, I got cancer. I got to deal with this. And I trust you." That's a big fucking weight.
Yeah.
It is. And you kind of go, okay, I guess I'm not going to sleep 2005 through 2007.
Yeah. Shit got serious.
Shit got real serious, right? And then, you know, and so the people who really know, and they see us in 2017, like, those are the people where they go,
Wow, you guys!
holy
Wow,
shit.
you guys just made it.
Yeah, and it's honestly as surprising for them in many cases, and they walk in the new facility like, holy crap, and I look at the look in their eyes, and they're like, hey, not the congratulations like this is really neat, but the congratulations like, holy shit, I was there for the really, really hard times, and I know, and damn, we all counted you out. And that's where it's like, you kind of sit back for a second and go, oh, okay, is the fight kind of over at least for a minute? Has the bleeding stopped? And then you go, well, maybe we're in a better advantageous position, but the fight hasn't slowed down. It hasn't stopped. It's just now we're going to take the hill versus keep it.
Yeah.
You know, versus keep the ground. Now you're going to take the hill. And so then you go into the next phase with that excitement that, you know, you're on attack mode versus having to hold your shit together with pipe cleaners and bubble gum.
Sure.
You know, and that's happened over the years, and I'm not too proud to say it. And I think we were able to create a great product and great service through all of the hard years, which is a testament to our staff.
Yeah, but also, I mean, talk about learning. I mean, you know, like I told you the story today of the samurai sword, but the samurai sword only becomes a samurai sword by being folded, pounded, and heated.
Sure.
And you know, and I remember my mom, who's, you know, has probably bestowed more wisdom on me than any other human being on the planet. But I remember one time I told my mom, I was like, it's so hard. And she's like, yeah, would you think it was going to be easy? And she's like, if it was fucking easy, everybody would do it.
Sure.
And then
it wouldn't be a definition of excellence.
Yeah, and then she made a funny point. She's like, hotter the heat, or what would she say? Hotter the temperature, the stronger the metal. The hotter you can heat it, the stronger the metal is.
Now it's time for you to empower your performance. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there. Keep your eyes peeled for registration for Sorin X Summer Strong 2017 in Lexington, South Carolina. The dates of the event are May 19th through 21st, so don't sleep on getting your tickets. As promised, the weekend will be filled with great talks, throwing around some iron, and of course, the buddy system. Until next time, bye!